Angelica, Cheyenne, aka the Chocolate Diva, and you're tuning into the Chocolate Diva Chronicles. Today I have rapper KiD.
What's up?
And I have his lovely friends and entourage here. So stay tuned. Happy Friday, everyone. I am Angelica, Cheyenne, the Chocolate Diva. Ooh, it seems like I might be getting sick, but I'm not sick today. I am back again, and of course, I brought another special guest. He's a young, talented, and straight from the Inland Empire. I welcome rapper KiD. Hi, KiD.
What's up? What's up?
Speaking in the mic.
Yo, what's up?
You can bring it up higher. Don't be scared. Like we're just adjusting his mic so he can get it together. If it doesn't work like that, just you can scoot closer if you want. I think it should be something on the. It would be the day we're having some technical difficulties, simply because. Can I have y'all just switch? I'm sorry, just because it's simple fact that one of the mic stands are not as stable as it should be today. We've had a lot of trouble today, haven't we, Videographer Kyle? Yeah, we were supposed to get in here and get right to it, but unfortunately there was tons of meetings today and a lot of miscommunication, and apparently our mic stand is just not popping today. But we're not going to let that deter us because we have KiD here and apparently all of his entourage. So we have, I'm going to try to get the name. So we have KiD, we have Danny Boy, we have Aaron. He looks like Benny from the Sandlot, but his name is Juan. And we have somebody real cool chilling in the background.
Risky.
What's your name?
Henderson.
Okay. Well, we are all here today. Thank you guys for coming down. How was the drive?
It was alright. A little bit of traffic coming down here, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't too difficult?
It wasn't too difficult, but it was like still traffic.
You guys follow directions well because I know it's a little tricky to get here.
Nah, this kid, he always messes up with directions. Bro, he would turn it around.
Don't blame him. But you guys did well. I know our campus can be a little bit of a maze if you're not used to it. I know when I first got here, I thought that my classroom was the shower room. And I was walking around the first day of class looking for the classroom, and it was right in front of my face. So I do understand that sometimes our directions are not as clear as they can be. But anyway, so I like to start off my Fridays with a fun fact, just something unique about the person I'm interviewing. And since you're my guest of honor, what is a fun fact about yourself, KiD?
Fun fact, I don't know. I'm a rapper from the Inland Empire.
Okay.
Fun
Well,
fact.
let me ask you this. Let me rephrase it then. Tell us something that a lot of people don't know. So, like, people know you're a rapper. They can see that on your social media. People know you do music, obviously. You write your own lyrics, all of that. But something maybe not, maybe your friends know. Maybe y'all can help him out. I'm sure you know something about him that maybe it's just y'all know. He gave him the death look like y'all better not say nothing.
A lot of people don't know I'm Guamanian.
Okay.
From the island of Guam. I mostly associate myself with Mexicans. And my fan base is mostly Mexicans. When I introduce myself, I say I'm Mexican because a lot of people know what Guamanian is. So, and I'm not that much.
Right.
So
who's Guamanian?
my mom.
Your mom.
Yeah.
And so she's full.
No, she's half.
She's half.
Guamanian, half Mexican.
Okay, so you're mostly Mexican.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
pretty much why I associate more with
Okay.
Mexicans.
Have you ever been to Guam?
No.
Has your mother?
No.
Okay, so she.
My grandpa is a POW
Oh,
in World War II with
really?
the Japanese. So he never wanted to like take him back over there. So she never visited the island again. Or his family didn't never visited the island again.
That's interesting. Can you just speak a little bit closer to the mic? Yeah, I know it's in your face, but just so they can capture exactly what you're saying, because that's really cool in the times of when we're in war to know someone who was in one of the most legendary wars, unfortunately, of all time.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk about that?
No, he passed away. I never met him.
Yeah, but does your family? I know they probably have a lot of his memorabilia and things like that.
Yeah, they talk about it, but it was also not like a really pleasant time, of course. So it's not really like something they openly talk about. But my mom's taught us, things that he'd been through and seen and stuff.
Do you sometimes use that? I'm going to get to your music in a second, but when you rap, I noticed that you incorporate a lot of things that are more street, but they also have some remnants of kind of like being information, you know, having a group, you know, kind of being in line to proceed further. Would you say that's some type of things that you learned through just him being a military, you know, because it kind of correlates in a sense. I mean, street warfare is still warfare, you know?
Right. Right. Well, not really. I never really, really felt certain type of way with him. Like I'm not really close.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't. Like I said, I never met him, so it wasn't really a big part of my life.
Yeah, it was just cool to know because a lot of people who, I mean, he's dead, but a lot of people, it's not every day you meet someone, hey, yeah, my grandfather was in the World War II,
Right.
and things like that. So your birth name is, do you mind telling everybody what your name is?
Isaac Joaquin Flores.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got a nice little flair to it. So do you know, I know I told you this before, but you just know that your name is derivative of Spanish, right?
Yeah, well, Isaac, I know my first name means like happiness, but like you said, you were gonna share some information what my middle name meant, which I'm interested in.
He was. When I googled his name, I was gonna ask him this beforehand because I thought, oh, he probably already knows this. So I just asked him before the show, like, do you know what your name is? He's like, no, I know it's Spanish, but I don't think it has any meaning to it. And I googled his name because I'm always googling stuff because I'm nosy. And apparently his name means lifted by Yahweh, which is Hebrew for God. So, yeah, right? So I'm thinking he probably knows this, and he doesn't. So it was cool to inform him on his own name.
Oh, that's tight. That's really cool.
Right. You seem real chill, you know, and if you can see him now, you're going to see when we post a video on YouTube, but for the people who are listening now, he's rocking Tommy Hilfiger. He got on these blue, like, shades, just chilling, and he's, like, real low-key. So he's probably, like, the first artist that I had in the studio who's, you know, more on the... And his friends are, like, shaking his head because they probably already know you're kind of, I won't want to say shy, but you're more reserved.
I'm more reserved. Well, I'm just trying to be humble, you know? Like, I'm not anybody big, so there's no point of be acting like I'm some big shot. But I'm more, like, humble and well reserved when it's meeting new people. But with the homies, you know, like, I'm always clowning and I'm loud. You know, just always messing around or something.
I understand that. I have had friends before who come off as really quiet, and then like I get to know them. It's like you're a whole new person.
Yeah.
So I do understand the reserve part of it all. So your name is Kid X. Why do you go by Kid X?
When I made it, like because I first went by So Real.
Okay.
And I don't really know. I just chose a rap name like randomly. Like it was just on the spot. And then I started learning how to market myself, and I wanted to have a name that I could put in all platforms. And just So Real wasn't like really, I don't know, I didn't really feel like it could make an impact or just a good marketing name. So I went with the Kid X, and I just chose the real Kid X for all my social media platforms, just to make it easier to find me.
So it was just a name that you thought sounded dope.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It is cool. I mean, I haven't really heard anyone reference themselves as kids. It's like kid and play. So, like I said, I like to do research on my guests. So I put you in Google just so I could see if you came up, which you did. But apparently, the picture I found was a lot, more tanned than you are now.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it me?
No, it was not.
It's that black cat from Africa.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe he might be Afro-Latino. He was, and in one of his songs, he was speaking Spanish. So I'm not
from
familiar.
Africa.
He could be.
It's spelled like K _ID X, right?
Yeah, it's spelled like similar to you. I know you capitalize your D and lowercase your I and have your capital X.
Yeah.
So it's very similar. And there's also another Kid X. He looked like he might have been Latin or something. And I'm just saying that to say, how do you individualize yourself so you're not confused with other Kid X's?
The real Kid X.
Okay. And beyond branding wise, I mean, it's evident your style is much different if you compare the other Kid X's. So elaborate on kind of that.
Like my style?
You can go into your style or just kind of like what makes you you in a sense. Because, I mean, you know, I know you're trying to be humble and everything, but the show is centered around you. So just give the people kind of a feel for like,
Well, like the other cat, Kid X, the black one, it is completely different style. It's more like of a mainstream type of sound, which I'm not knocking the style. Like, it's dope, but that's not me. Like, if you're gonna listen to me, it's gonna be like some lyricism, hip hop sounding type of rap, you know. So it's like completely different styles, and I'm pretty sure like the name might look similar, but once you hear it, you're gonna hear a big difference.
That is very true. And with that being said, do you ever run into incidents where people may just because the name strictly alone may confuse you, and does that bother you at all, or that just makes you feel like I have to be just me and people are gonna know who I am?
Never, because those cats aren't known either.
True.
So like, I'm sure like in their area, they're well known. Southern California, they're not well known. So, and the people I associate myself with at the shows, promoters, DJs, they're not well known in that type of circle. So I never really have to deal with. It's not like someone else's name, Kendrick Lamar or YG, and I'm coming out at these shows or at the studio. Oh, my name's YG or Kendrick Lamar. You know, it's like totally different.
And I do get that. Like I said before, I mean, you're obviously different, and like you said, they're not known necessarily either. So it's fair game. Now, where are you from? Tell everyone where you're from.
San Diego, but I rep Inland Empire.
Okay.
IE, all over IE, from the Dino, Ontario, Southern IE, Temecula, Lake Elsinore, Stomping Grounds, Lake Elsinore.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Now, what is it like growing up in your city, or the IE as you call it?
Like particularly where I went to high school is pretty whack. Just
you
because the people are
shade.
there, you know, they're not really about the funk over there, you know what I mean? But we would go to Lake Elsinore, out to Ontario, and kick it out there a lot. Riverside, got homies from Riverside, Ontario, San Bernardino, Lake Elsinore. So when I went to school, like in Marietta, and just the community, it's like one of the nicest cities, like one of the safest cities in America, right? But it's also one of the last couple years ago, it was looked at by the whole country as a racist city, just the things that was going on with immigration when Obama opened the gates and let all the immigrants come in. We were looked at as a racist community, and growing up, you deal with that a lot, just with prejudice and people looking at you different or talking to you different when you walk into somewhere, when you walk into public, people giving you stares, and that's mainly when I started dressing the way I dress now, with the chucks and the white tees and the Dickies high socks. It's just because when I'm walking with the crew, when I'm walking with the homies, I want to let it be known that I'm Mexican.
Okay.
You know, so if they're gonna give me that stare, I'll give them a reason to stare. Like, you know what I mean? So, in that particular city, I mean, you can ask all the homies, it's pretty whack, pretty boring, but we would go out like a couple towns away from that city.
So basically, the way that the community is set up, you were just gonna be like, I'm gonna rep it to the fullest, because there's no really other way to be. Right.
Yeah, just because in your eyes, you're always gonna be a Mexican, no matter how you dress. If you dress like, lack of better words or terminology, if you dress like a white person in that area, how a white person dresses in that area, they're still gonna look at you as a Mexican, so might as well dress the way I dress.
I respect it, and it's good that you take a lot of pride in your culture, and it's very evident in your videos and things like that. Now, how did the aspect of where you grew up influence your music?
I wouldn't say exactly Marietta where I lived and went to high school too, because we were doing our things in high school as well, messing around, getting into trouble and whatnot. But I guess the things I would do, the way I live, the things I've experienced in life, really puts the aspect into my music, not necessarily where I live.
And do you mind kind of delving into kind of the backstory of you? I know you can't give specifics, and I'm not going to pry that far, but just I understand that sometimes when people go through hardships, it's filtered in their music and they use it as an outlet. So for you, how does your circumstances, it could be family or it could just be environmental things going on in your society that you're in, how did that influence you?
Well, I mentioned my older brother a lot. Today's actually his birthday, but he's locked up right now.
Okay.
He's in prison, and I mention him a lot. and just having a brother growing up with an older brother in and out of prison. There's a lot of things that he could introduce to us, and things that we started getting into just because I have an older brother into those type of things, you know. So, like I said, it's not exactly where I live that really impacted my music, but the people around me and the things I've seen and been through.
May I ask what he's in jail for?
I don't know.
Okay. I definitely understand that, and that is true. A lot of times it's the people who are around you more often than just where you are.
Right.
So, with that being said, was music used as a way to stay out of trouble per se?
Well, at first basketball was. I was really into basketball.
Okay.
Until I got to high school, and that was really a thing that got me stay out of trouble mostly. But when I started getting heavy into music, I was also heavily getting into trouble as well. Just probably the music I listened to and stuff that influenced me, and influenced the people around me. I was becoming more of a troublemaker when I started getting heavily into music.
In what ways? Like, what was happening during that time?
Just acting a fool, just selling drugs and getting into that type of stuff,
I'm not. I'm not gonna make you keep going because you look.
I don't anymore,
Yeah, no, he's looking at me like she going a little too far. But I do. I ask that because sometimes music can be very raw. You have your music that's very uplifting and very pop and very fun, but with hip hop, especially rap, it can be very just eerie because you can go in one place that the rapper is talking about and it'd be a whole different experience than when you travel like 20 minutes out.
Yeah.
So it's just very evident how different things can be and how much it is heightened when you're in such a close radius, and how the people really influence which way you go.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been rapping?
7, 8, 9, like almost 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
And tell everyone how old you are.
I'm 19.
19. He
Yeah.
sounds like he's growner than that, y'all, but they're actually all within the 19-20 range. So you started rapping when you were about 13 years old.
Yeah, around that time.
How did you find your sound?
I still don't think I found my sound.
Okay.
I like to be very diverse. Like if you listen to one track, it's not gonna sound exactly the same. I might have a really hip hop boom bap sound, and then switch to like some upbeat gangster rap type of flow, So I try to be really diverse in my music. I don't think I found my exact sound yet.
So you're experimenting.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say experimenting. I just want to be. A lot of cats just stick to one flow. I feel like that could get boring sometimes. So I like to switch it up and I just love music. So I like messing with different sounds or seeing how this sounds and that sounds. I'm not in a stage where I'm experimenting anymore because I know my capabilities.
Okay.
So I'm not necessarily experimenting with different sounds because I know how it's going to sound. I just like doing it. I like messing around with different ones,
Now, I did listen to your music. I listened to a few of them. Plot and Paper. I like Rich. I like the last one. I should know this. I listened to this morning. Sober.
Oh, Sober Shooters.
Sober Shooters. I don't know why I keep thinking of Sober Thoughts. I think that's because, the phrase is sober thoughts, drunken words, sober thoughts. But I listened to Sober Shooters, and your flow is different, but I still heard you, which is difficult. There's a thin line between doing different styles but maintaining authenticity and just having a whole change up.
Right.
You don't really hear that because it's hard to execute. I likened you to, when I first heard, I think it was Rich. I thought she sounded a little bit like Kid Frost.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Kid Frost has his whole style, but I found similarities. Like I said, I'm a music buff myself. I heard J. Cole flow. I heard YG on Sober Soldiers. So, and DJ Mustard sound, production-wise.
That's the sound I went for.
Right, and you got it, because I love YG, and I think DJ Mustard is amazing. So, it's very evident. Now, you said you're very Mexican. You're proud to be Mexican. So, would you define yourself as a Chicano?
Yeah, but not a Chicano rapper.
Not a Chicano rapper. And why is that?
It's totally different sounds, I feel like, than I'm probably in the same category, but when someone says Chicano rap, they're gonna think of like really gangster underground,
Mm-hmm.
fast, murderous sounds. You know, like that's
Right.
that's the sound. Like when you hear Chicano rap, that's what you're gonna. When
Mm-hmm.
someone says that, that's what you think of.
Right.
And just because I'm Chicano doesn't mean I'm in that exact category.
Right.
You know?
So you said your style in terms of your rap and flow is not Chicano, but would you say your aesthetics are? And would that kind of be contradictory? Because it's kind of like, you know, like when I first saw your videos, I saw Chicano, then I listened to it and I was like, it's not really that, because it's not like Cypress Hill, it's,
Right.
it's like the heart of Chicano to me. So it's not kind of like that, but it has a lot of the same looks. Obviously, you know, you
Well,
are Chicano.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, the aesthetics, like, yeah, of course, like I dress and look like it, but
Mhm.
the sound,
right.
you know, I'm Mexican, so I'm gonna dress like one, you know, but it doesn't mean I necessarily have to be super hardcore Chicano rap when I make music. I try to go away from that.
And for the people who are not from Southern California, because if you grow up in California, especially in SoCal, we have a lot of Hispanic people. We have a lot of Chicano culture. So, like, I know what it is. Anyone, if you ask, pretty much knows what it is. But for those who might be like, what is Chicano? Is that a whole different race? No, it's a culture. Kind of explain what that is.
Chicano, yeah, I would say is exactly what you just said. It's just culture.
Mm-hmm.
Just Mexicans, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I see Danny taking photos.
Yeah, he's more heavy on it, as you can see. I mean,
It's cool. I am thrilled when people bring their friends. When he came in here, I actually thought they were going to be talking, but it's funny. They're just his homies. And when he said he was just going to bring their homies, he really meant it. I'm thinking like he wanted to feature an artist, you know, which is cool and all. But he's like, nah, they're just my friends. And y'all some good friends because I know the drive is a little lengthy to get here.
But they go to my shows, and I'm always with them, you know.
How long you been friends?
Middle school, freshman year, around that time, 5-6 years.
Tell me, I'm just going to go off a little bit here because I think it's really cute when I see groups of friends. I know y'all probably like, don't call us cute, but I think it's nice. Tell us something from y'all youth. It could be any one of y'all. What is the story from when y'all was growing up that maybe is something y'all looking back now, it's like, that was some ignorant stuff we did, you know?
I don't think we could really talk to them.
Okay, it doesn't have to be on that level. So I'm not trying to get y'all caught out, but you know.
There's a homie, Zach, shout out my homie Zach Alvarez. We used to ride in his car, and he had like his stepdad just bought him like a new car, and it had a sunroof. So we would drive hella slow and pull the sunroof down and just A people or just A houses. And it was just,
How old were
mess with
you?
people. Damn, 15, 16, 16, 17.
No, you all was too big for that. I'm thinking I'm gonna say 12.
We just like messing around, you know. Like, that's just our level of just clowning, just messing around, just being stupid.
Are y'all pranksters?
Not now, just because we be getting annoyed. We're too grown for that now, you know. But
Y'all trying to be professional. Do y'all still prank each other though? Like I know when April Fools come around, y'all all be mad childish.
nah, we always clown on each other, you know, like you ugly, like you know, like.
Your mama jokes.
Nah, not with Mexicans. You can't do that with Mexicans. It's disrespectful, you know.
I respect it. I don't like it when anybody does, and I'm very sensitive to that.
And just because our parents, like, they all know my mom. I know, like, we all know each other's parents, you know. So we wouldn't cross that line anyways. But if it's on one-on-one, it don't matter. Like, we can say whatever we want.
So that's nice. So I'm gonna ask this for the ladies. Are any of y'all single?
Hell yeah.
Kid's real quiet.
No.
He's looking like I'm not about to say nothing. I got a lady at the house.
No, I'm not single.
Okay, so that's good because I asked that because does that romance and that relationship aspect ever come out in your music? You know. No. And why is that?
I think, like, I've made like a couple love tracks that she's only heard. Just for her, like on a one-on-one thing, you know what I mean?
That's nice.
But to put out a love track, I don't know. That's just not me. It's like a little too cheesy, you know?
Yeah, I asked because, like you said, even though your music is not like hardcore gangster rap, it's very like typical rap fashion. It's not really addressing like a love aspect, which a lot of rappers don't. But I said that to say, would that ever be something in the works? Because, you know, it could be like a Method Man, a You're All I Need, Mary J. Blige thing, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. I mean, it definitely happened. Like, I love to work on something like that, but when you see rappers put out love songs, it's not, it's mostly just to get a female audience, which I already mainly have, so I don't feel like I
You
need
think
it.
that's not...
I
I like how you just shade everybody's like, it's not sincere. Y'all just want one more female followers.
Right, well, that's what they're marketing to, you know? Like, they're not putting out a love song for the homies.
True.
They're putting out a love song for trying to get at some high notes, which I don't really need to work on.
He trying to be hard because his friends are here now. I'm playing, but I do understand that aspect. Now, I heard in a few of your songs, like Scheming, Plot, Paper, and Rich, that you referenced the term hit a lick.
Right.
What does that mean? I think I know what it means, but I just want you to, you know, explain that for us.
I can't really say. You know what I mean? I'm not
well, because I know Cardi B used it, and she is, I think, Puerto Rican, and I've never really heard that term. I'm sure it might be an old term, right? And maybe because I'm from where I'm from, he's from a different spot than me, but I've never heard that term used in a succession like that. So I just want to know, is that something that means something else, or is it just kind of like, you know, slang?
Just robbery.
Okay. Well, good. Thank you for the blend.
Okay. This is what it means.
Okay. So with that being said, before y'all think not all his music is about jacking, actually the contrary. it's about, you know, a different aspect. Your music's very multi-dimensional, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, you cover a lot of different.
Diversity.
Yes, it covers a lot of different topics. So with that being said, why do you, if that's the code name being robbery, why is that such a big reference? Is that something that was a big aspect of experience?
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, it was. I don't want to like go too depth into it, but yeah, it was a big aspect. I would say something I was definitely into for a minute.
And why? I'm not gonna ask you why or how or who, but I'm just in a general speaking. Like, why is that something that you think goes on in the mind of maybe someone who's doing that? Like, what's the logic behind something in that nature? I'm trying to be as broad as possible.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay.
So sometimes you're just a smoker, just jacking people, you know, just some tweaker stuff. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes you just want the extra cash. I can't really speak on everybody, but for me, it started becoming a rush too. So, you know, I liked it when I was doing it just because it gave me that rush. But I wasn't. It might be an ignorant thing to say, but I wasn't doing it for an ignorant reason. I definitely had a motive behind it, and it wasn't in a menace type of way. I definitely had a different type of motive for what I was doing back then.
So it was like a mixture of addiction to adrenaline and a lot of deeper aspects that I'm not going to touch on. However, do you feel like, because I feel the common themes in the songs that I've listened to so far have been buying and selling, I'll just leave it at that, a little coercion, and things of that nature. Was that kind of, were you trying to project kind of the mindset of trying to find a way out? Because I know that you incorporate kind of like your life circumstances in the reason, kind of liken it to the reasons why you do what you do, not to make excuses, because in essence there aren't any. But in the rationalization mind frame of it all, would you say that would be the biggest driver for that?
I just want to touch base with anybody who could relate. I think that's what music is about, is just relating with people. So yeah, I just want to relate with people. I was never ever forced to do the things I did. I just did it, and I understand that, and I understand that way of living and mindsets. So I just want to relate with those type of people.
It's true, and that's what rap is. And a lot of rappers, old school, I would say, have came from situations where they were just talking about life and experiences more so than something that they really was feeling, oh, I'm desperate to do. But how realistic are your rhymes to your own life on a scale from maybe 1 to 10? Because you know, a lot of rappers now, they rap about a certain life and they could be living a totally different way.
Right. Yeah, it's completely authentic. Everything I say is authentic. And I feel like that's how I could go so hard in my music. It's because I know what's up. Well, not that I'm hard or anything, but what I'm rapping about, I know about. I never mentioned anything in a song that I never knew anything about. Either I've seen it firsthand or I've done it, and it's completely authentic.
And you can tell that's the difference, because I am a person who listens to a lot of music, and I've been blessed. I have a very, I would say, a good upbringing per se. Not to say anyone who doesn't have the same is living bad, but I've had a fairly, okay life. I wouldn't say easy, but it hasn't had too many roads and bumps. And when I hear music today, I feel like that not everyone, you can tell when people really been through things, and when they're kind of like assuming what things would be like if they were going through the same thing.
Right.
I had an artist who was on last week who were discussing the same thing. Now, I'm assuming that you write all your own lyrics, right? No ghostwriters?
No.
Okay. Who produces your beats? I don't know if I asked you this.
Different YouTube producers.
Okay.
I know a couple cats that send me tracks. Mainly I just be like on YouTube, just I spend hours on YouTube just listening for beats.
Right.
And then I'll buy them, I'll buy the lease or something, and then I'll start writing.
Now, how many people are doing that? Because I've heard this before. How much can you find on YouTube regarding beats? Because apparently people are doing it.
Millions, like thousands of them. That's all I pretty much listen to is just beats, YouTube beats, boom bap beats, type beats, Drake type beats, YG, J. Cole type beats, Kendrick Lamar type beats. But I mostly I try to find stuff that, like boom bap. I love boom bap, but sometimes it's not that hard, like the way the track comes off is not that hard. It's just that boom, tap, boom, tap, and you can't really go off of that all the time. So you gotta find strings and horns and all that, and that's what I really look for. Just a cold beat, just something I can really connect with.
Right. Now, you mentioned something about buying the lease. How does that work for people out there who are interested?
Super easy. Just get the link. Just pay like you would pay on Amazon.
Okay.
And then they just email it to you.
That's smart, because YouTube is not playing with taking people's stuff down. It's copyrighted. It's not popping right now. But what is the essential message that you want people to take away from your music?
Just to be authentic.
Okay.
Never fake anything. Never fake the funk.
Ooh, that's an old term.
Just always.
Oh, that's an old term. I haven't heard that in a minute.
Just always be authentic.
You're a very old soul. It's nothing wrong with that. So I'm not trying to make it seem like, oh, you have to be more immature than your age. But I understand what you're saying.
Well, yeah, my dad listens to a lot of oldies. I always listen to oldies. My mom loves oldies. So a lot of older music is a big influence on me as well.
What's some of your favorite oldie songs?
Top, of course, the big ones, Angel Baby, the Penguins, they were dope. Sam Cooke, Change Is Gonna Come, that one's hard. It's probably one of my favorite ones.
You like that soul music?
Yeah, I love it. It's dope.
Favorite soul artist? It could be from any decade.
Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was dope. Ray Charles came out with a really cool soulful sound too. Yeah, Sam Cooke.
You like the 50s, 60s vibe?
Yeah. It's really cool.
That's dope. Now, I'm going to ask you this for more of a, I don't want to say legal standpoint, but in your music, do you ever worry about entrapment?
No. just because I'm not dumb enough to go fully into detail.
You're not going to be Bobby Shmurda.
Right. and I'm no longer under investigation or anything like that.
Okay.
So I think it's cool for me to say whatever I want to say.
Well, that's good, and it's very smart. There's actually Kodak Black, I think, went to jail for that. Something similar. I think, yeah.
The last time,
yeah.
I don't think so. Not the last time.
No.
Last time he was in child endangerment or something.
Yeah,
like
something like that. But I think one of the times, I think he said something on the record or something. A few rappers have got in trouble that way, just running off.
I never like beat a case and then go rap about it, or in the middle of a case and
You're right.
or still under investigation and still rap about things. It's pretty stupid.
Smart man. Now, do you plan to remain an independent artist?
Yeah, I would love to just stay strictly independent.
And why is that?
Just because I feel like I could be more in control with everything, marketing wise, what comes out of my music, and I always want the homies behind me and the family behind me. I don't want anybody that I don't know or don't trust behind me or representing my music.
Right. I understand that, and it's very good. And with the way that contracts work now, it's almost smarter, especially if you have which you do, you have a very, I feel, big following. And with that being said, what do you feel are the struggles of being a rapper, especially an independent rapper today?
Just getting the music out there.
Okay.
Like when you put out a song and you want like hella heads to go promote it and repost it. Sometimes it doesn't always happen. You're shooting for hella views on a song, but then it just stops at 500 views, and for me that's really low.
Right.
I'm shooting for thousands, hundreds, and thousands, millions of views. That's what I want. That's my end goal. But a lot of times a song flops, and it's not because I didn't put in the work of promoting. It's because not everybody wants to repost your stuff, you know. So I try to find different ways to market myself and promote my music.
And also, I feel like music is at a place where it's one sound, one mind.
Mm-hmm.
I got that from Drumline, by the way, or something like that. But I feel like that people are so conditioned to hear one sound. When it's something different, it's like automatically people are rejective of it. So do you feel like that's some of the issue? Because your music, I'm not saying your music isn't dope, it is, but I feel like maybe the mindset of people now, do you think that could conflict with that? Because I've met some really great artists who I'm like, you should be blowing up. But for some reason, because they don't sound like Migos or Cardi B, they're kind of stagnant.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. The whack music on the radio now is definitely getting more radio play.
We gonna take that back. That is your opinion. I respect it. But I don't want to be throwing shade at nobody on the show.
I'm not throwing shade at anybody,
but yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. Kind of just like
I don't feel like it's real. I can't connect to somebody that could go buy Jordans every single week and rock $30,000 chains and not give back to the community.
Okay.
I find that very whack. When I say whack, are these whack rappers, like they could be rocking $30,000 jewelry. I can't connect with that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't relate to that at all. I can't relate to go balling in the club, throwing hundreds of ones in the strip club. I can't connect to that, so I can't relate to it.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, just to me, it's whack to me because I really want stuff I could connect to and relate to, and I think that's what music's about. The beat might knock, yeah, like, you know, like turning up with the homies and the beats knocking, like, yeah, we turn on some mainstream stuff sometimes, or just trap music sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're all kicking it or something, I'm not trying to listen to someone talking about the chains and all the women they got and shoes and the clothes. It's just stuff that I just can't relate to.
Right. And I'm glad you elaborated, because when people hear whack, then they automatically think, oh, it's music. But for you, it seems like it's deeper. It's just the mind frame of the people who are making the music and the kind of flashiness when you know that there's people who are not as fortunate. It's kind of like what puts you off.
Yeah. So like rappers that I really look up to or listen to was like King Lo G is like a main head I listen to just because we could relate to that type of stuff. Not necessarily because we're Mexicans and he's Mexican, just because of stuff he talks about. So I'll go to cats like him or just underground heads, and that's who I mainly bump. Nas, you could relate to Nas.
Ooh, yes, my
cats
soul
like that.
brother. Love Nas. All of the albums. I don't think he's made a bad one. All the old ones.
All the
Sorry,
older
yeah.
stuff, I could connect more to.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't connect to the stuff that's put on the radio now.
Mm-hmm. It's big business now. I mean, I love the radio, so I understand what it is. But from an artist perspective, that's kind of, I can see how that can be an issue. Now, we're going to play actually one of your songs because I think it's time that everybody hears this young man. So I'm actually going to play one of my favorite songs by him, Plot and Paper. And when we come back from the break, we'll have more with Kid X. So that was Plot and Paper by Kid X. We are back. As you can hear, that beat knocks. It was blasting the studio like I do every week. Now, with that being said, that beat, that trumpet sound, was that from The Godfather, that sample?
I have no idea.
I feel like it was. And I always ask my guests this if I can pick out a sample because I listen to a lot of music and even musical scores. So I think if you Google it, I believe it is. Maybe one of your friends can do it.
I know what you're talking
wrong.
about.
Yeah, like when he's sitting, like, yeah. I believe.
Throughout the movie.
Exactly.
I'm not sure.
If it is, it'll be even doper because
Yeah,
it fits,
yeah,
you know?
cool.
So, what are your main goals as a rapper, as an artist? Where do you see yourself in like 5 years with it?
Close to the top in the underground scene.
Okay. You still want to remain underground?
I don't think I could ever go mainstream just because my sound.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. Like Logic, he threw out like, he was really hip hop, big hip hop head, but I don't think I could ever make a sound that he just did, that Suicide Prevental song. I just don't think I could ever make a song in the future that could get some radio play like that on big mainstream MTV, and that's not really what I'm shooting for. I just want to connect with people.
True artists, you just love the sound of music.
Yeah, and just connecting with other people is just dope. Connecting with fans, man, dope.
That's really cool because that's like with, even though Chance the Rapper is mainstream, but that was initially his stuff, his stilo. Like he wanted just to connect with people. That's why he never signed, and amongst other things. Now, who is your favorite rapper and how has their style influenced you?
I don't really got a favorite rapper. Kilo G, I listen to that cat a lot.
Okay.
Kilo G is like a big guy for me. When I opened up for him, I was mad dope. Opened up for him a couple of times. I've been on tour with this team, and that's just mad dope just for me, and that's a big goal for the whole team because that's who we bump like on the regular, you know. And then there's other like Mexican rappers and stuff that we listen to, but definitely Kilo G, from where he started and where he's at now, that's a big motivation and big inspiration. So I wouldn't say I got like a favorite rapper or like that's my like I'm straight fanboying over like, oh man, you know. Yeah. But I definitely like Kilo G sound. So
you could definitely see yourself collaborating with him.
Yeah. Well, collaborations with his team is already in the works.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Look, big stuff going on. I definitely want to be updated regarding that. Now, I have another thing here on the Chocolate Diva Chronicles. It's called the Friday Fails and Friday Acts of Fantasness with Snap. Now, our fails, it doesn't have to be like something that happened on a Friday. Let me just start with that. But if it is something in your life that maybe was just not, it didn't work for you, it was just something that was just maybe not good, what was that? What was your fail that you feel like that just it was not working out no matter how hard you tried to, fix it, it just wasn't popping?
Math class.
Algebra, trust me. Geometry, which one? Like,
I never got out of algebra. Okay. Algebra 1. I don't think I was still doing like 8th grade math as a senior. Like math.
So you just wasn't.
I hate it with passion. Just math is not my thing. But I love numbers. I love big numbers, money numbers, but math is not my big.
I mean, you just need arithmetic to count money, but it's good to know for the stocks. I'm assuming extensive math, but I'm not a fan of math either at all. So I understand that. Now, what was your fabulousness? Just something that it went right, like maybe the first try. It was just good.
Basketball.
Okay. What position did you play?
Point guard.
Well,
same
not
here. Anymore. I don't play anymore. But when I did, I was like.
How tall are you?
Nothing, like 5'9", 5'8".
Yeah, you gotta be fast.
Yeah.
His friends out there. Yeah, he was quick. Now, did all y'all play with him, right?
I played with Aaron.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I used to play a lot of sports.
What position was you?
I was a forward.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought forwards. I didn't pay attention to how tall are you?
I'm like.
Well, we were little though.
Yeah. Oh, this was when you were younger.
It's not college ball or like high school.
But even high school, like I feel like.
Did you play ball? High school ball?
I played football. I wrestled.
Okay.
When I was younger, I played baseball, basketball, pretty much.
But I played against him a couple times. But he doesn't admit, but I beat him like my team was always the time.
We always made it to the championship. I got trophies.
Oh, here they go. They're like, no, let me break it down. So it's good you love sports, and I'm assuming that when you have kids in the future or near future, they will play sports too.
Yeah, hopefully.
If you had a girl, would you force her to play sports?
No, but I mean, if she wanted to, she could.
Yeah, I had a dad who was big on football and basketball, and he trained me and my sisters both in basketball from like 4 up. So yeah, but that's cute to see that's something that you take passion in, you know. Now for our last thing of the day, I just want to thank you all for coming out. Thank you for interviewing with me, and you provided a lot of great things for our listeners. And oh, did you open the door? Wait, oh no, you were sitting over there. I'm sorry. There's what's your name again? Kobe. Okay, listeners, Kobe, I guess, was sitting on the other side. I couldn't see him. So I saw, like, the door open, him come in. And I was like, how did he get in here? Because the door locks from the outside. So I'm like, someone has to let him in, or he just swift like that. I don't know. I'm like, they were joking about, like, how to get in. I was like, he finessed his way in here. I'm a little like... No. Okay, he was actually so far. I couldn't see him. The box was in the way, the speaker box. But thank you for coming. And also, how can our listeners find you?
Instagram, SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube, at The Real KidX, TheRealKidX.
All right, you heard it there. You can find me on all my social media platforms. You can find me on Twitter at Angelica CC Diva. You can also find me at the Chocolate Diva for Instagram. I just made my snap, had my first snap yesterday. You can follow me on Snapchat at the Coco Diva. That's Coco with an H. And you can also find me on YouTube at Angelica Cheyenne, the Chocolate Diva, and the same on Facebook. So for our flashback song of the day, I asked KiD what was the song he wanted to hear. He was acting all hesitant like he didn't know, but luckily his friend said Tupac, and he's gonna pick Hail Mary. So why Hail Mary? That's like my favorite Pac song as well.
It's just super hard. No, just Pac. Hail Mary is just a banger.
Right. His friends co-signing like, yes, it is what it is.
Every song.
So would you say this is one of your favorite Pac albums, Machiavelli?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was dope. I feel like, you know, he could have been even, he just didn't have enough time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
His friend is, you a big Pac fan, huh, Danny?
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
I mean, shoot. I know I'm with the fellas today, but I think I look pretty feminine.
Yes, sir.
But it's good you used to saying that. Was your pops big on sir?
No.
No. I just look more masculine today. But it's good I fit in well with y'all.
Or Chocolate Diva, I should say. Huh?
Yes, you may. But, so I'm going to take us out of here with Hail Mary. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, KidX. You're welcome back anytime. Definitely keep me updated on your stuff in the future.
Thank you, much love.
Chocolate Diva.
Yeah, it just rolls off the tongue, don't it?
Chocolate Diva. It sounds like a yogurt flavor or something, like
I think
frozen
it
yogurt.
is. It is, but we're going to stop playing. We're going to get out of here.
I need my money. I need my fatty ready. So can you run me that? Say, can you run